Hi YouTube, welcome back to Pretty on a Plane with me, Pretty. So today I want to speak about something. Before I forget, I got a new mic. So let me know in the comments what you think. Your girl is getting new equipment, a new microphone. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is my sound better? Is it worse? Should I use it? Should I lose it? Just let me know in the comments. Today I'm speaking about Indonesia. Yeah, Bali. I know, I've mentioned in my videos that everybody and their cousin has been to Bali. Well, certainly in South Africa. If somebody is a traveler and they've traveled outside of the country, they've either been to Thailand or Bali. And there's good reasons for that, right? There's a very, very good reason why they've been to those two countries. And today I want to get into those reasons. Is Bali worth it? Is it worth it for you to go to Bali? Should you do it? So let's get right into it. Okay, so Indonesia. First of all, let's talk about geography. Indonesia is Southeast Asia. It's very close to Australia. So right at the bottom of the Asian continent, very close to Australia. So as a result, there's a lot of Australian tourists that go to Bali all the time, right? So that's the geography end of it. And if you're flying from South Africa, there's no direct flights to Bali. So you would need to do a stopover flight in the Middle East. As are most flights to a lot of the Asian countries. There isn't a lot of direct flights from South Africa. So you need to do like a stopover in the Middle East. So most likely in Dubai, in Qatar, one of those places, either Dubai or Qatar, one of those places, or Singapore even. So you can do a stopover there. Remember, if you stop in Singapore, please make it worthwhile. Explore the Singapore airport. It's totally worth it. Anyway, so so you would need to fly from there. So I believe that if you're coming from anywhere on the African continent and Europe, African continent and Europe continental, you would need a stopover in the Middle East, or potentially Singapore, and then you end up in Bali. And I'm gonna get into the reasons why Bali is worth it. I think I'll reach my conclusion, but I think it's worth it, and I'm just gonna delve in and take a deep dive into why it's worth the trip. One, the first thing is Bali is very affordable. It is extremely affordable to travel there, even with a South African rand that is struggling right now. Going to Bali is definitely worth the price because the flights are affordable. You get the best hotels at like really affordable prices. You can stay at like a 4 or 5 star hotel and pay a fraction of what you would pay in South Africa or traveling anywhere else. And the hotel standards are really amazing. You get hotels that have like really great views, and also you get hotels where you can have breakfast in the pool. Hello, Indonesia. So yeah, that is an experience that you cannot miss out on the world. So that's the first thing. Bali is completely affordable. The second thing, because it's so affordable, shopping in Bali is a treat. But it's not shopping in the sense that you go around walking in the mall. That's boring. You can do that at your local mall. But this is shopping in the sense that you go to the street. They have street hawkers, street markets, if you will, where there's like a lot of vendors on the street. But you need to be careful because obviously if you are not of Asian descent or maybe Asian in other countries, let me retract. If you're not of Balinese descent, say you're African or you're Caucasian, then it's obvious that you are a tourist. And because of that, there's tourist prices. So what you need to do is learn to heckle. It's an art form that is very useful throughout Asia if you're going to be buying things. The same thing is applicable when you go to Thailand. So you need to learn to negotiate. Pull out your negotiation tie and clip it on and start negotiating that price. Because trust me, whatever the price they're trying to give you at, that is not the real price. You will definitely find the real price. in as much as you're shopping on the streets, there's also like designer places, like local designer places that I'll actually link the top I bought in Indonesia. But there's also local designer places. And because the currency is not, so strong, everything is cheap. Even the designer clothes are cheap. So I bought like a really cute top. It's really stunning. I love the material. I love it. It's just one of my favorites. And I bought it at a designer shop and walking about in Bali. So that's the beauty of it. You get to shop to your heart's content. The third thing is the food. If you go to my food video, check it out. If you go to my food video, you will see I spoke about some of the food that I ate in Bali being my favorite. That is no lie. The food in Bali is amazing. The food is great, and the street food is like proper restaurants, high-end restaurants that you can go to, and it is cheap. It's good, cheap eats. So the food is definitely making it. It definitely makes it worthwhile. Yeah, definitely Balinese food. Love it. The fourth thing are the beaches. The water in Bali is amazing. As a result, there's a lot of water sports that you can do in Bali. There's a lot of water activities that you can do, or you can just go lay on the beach. Like, be a beach bum. I did that. I was having a long year. I was studying and working at the same time at the time. And listen, I needed the break. So it did me good to just lie on the beach, just be there. And it was really beautiful. The beaches are completely amazing. The water is amazing. The fifth thing, because Bali is such a popular destination, it is very cosmopolitan. Sometimes I find that being a Black girl traveling in certain parts of Asia is a bit difficult. I'll make a video about my Chinese experience. But being a Black girl traveling in certain parts of Asia is difficult because you become this exotic thing as you're traveling through, and everybody seems to be intrigued by you. But I didn't get that experience in Bali because, it's such a big touristy place. There's so many people of all descent and all races and cultures that go there for holiday. So the Balinese people are exposed to all sorts of people. So it never causes a thing of, oh, you are so exotic, let me touch your hair. So yeah, the cosmopolitan bit of Bali makes it worth the visit. The next thing is massages. Oh my word. The best massages I have ever experienced. Okay, not some of the best. I think Asian massages are generally great, but some of the best massages I've experienced are in Bali, and they are cheap. That is the plus side of it. The really beautiful thing about it is that you can get your massages at your hotel, or you can get your massages outside and find a place where you can actually go for the massages. So they're really, really amazing. The greatest thing about it is that you can still buy the products. Like, I was able to buy some of the scrubs, some of the oils that they use in the massages, and they are so gorgeous. So yeah, I love that about Bali. The massages, really awesome. The next thing is Ubud. Ubud is an area in Bali where there's rice plantations. So as with a lot of Asian countries, Indonesia, Balinese people eat a lot of rice. And there's rice fields that you can go and explore, and it is gorgeous. Yes, everybody has seen, those pictures on the Bali swing. That's where the Bali swings are. You can go on this beautiful swing on the rice fields, or just go for a walk in the rice fields and take these amazing pictures. Ubud is really definitely worth it because not only do you get to see the rice fields, but there's so many temples that you can go visit and immerse yourself in the culture of the Balinese people. I was very fortunate that I had a friend who loves Bali, has been there I don't know how many times, and this friend recommended somebody who I could contact who would be my driver / tour guide, and because of that I got to have like a very unique experience that's outside of the normal touristy places, but I got to experience the Bali lifestyle, which is really, really amazing. If you want that contact for that person, let me know in the comments. I'll let you know. He's really amazing. Lastly, the Balinese people. Oh my word. The Balinese people are just really amazing. They are so warm, they're so welcoming, and they don't make you feel like you're imposing. I didn't have a single bad experience while I was there. The people are really, really amazing. So those are the ups of Bali, the downside of Bali. The downside of Bali definitely has to do with the crowds. Because it's such a popular destination, it gets very crowded. I mean, post pandemic, maybe you should rush there now before all the crowds come back. But before pandemic, the crowds in Bali were really insane. It's crazy because then there's like so many people from all over the world who are there. And everyone is after the same experience. That is just the beauty and the nature of Bali, the food and all that experience. Because of that, it gets very crowded. And yeah, the crowds can become quite a lot. So you kind of have to be prepared for that when you're going. Obviously, this is pre-pandemic. Obviously, this is before the pandemic. So I'm pretty sure right now, though, with everyone going back to traveling, it's becoming crowded again. But so maybe it would be good to rush there now before all the tourists are back. But yeah, you should be prepared for that. Bali is very touristy, so there's big crowds. But I mean, this is not necessarily a negative for Bali, but it's a negative for any place that is touristy, be it Rome, be it Venice, be it Paris. There's crowds everywhere if the place is touristy. So yeah, that's the downside of Bali. It is touristy. Another thing that's quite the downside is because of the connecting flight, getting to Bali can take a bit of a while. So a flight to Bali takes long. I think if you were to even get a connecting flight, it might still take long. Obviously, this is depending on which part of the world you're coming from. So I'm speaking from an African, European continental perspective. And from that perspective, it can take quite long to get to Bali. So the flight there might be a bit of a tedious situation. Other than those things that are particularly the downside, I'd say, oh yeah, one more thing before I forget, the downside. When you're buying, when you're shopping on the streets, be careful of buying branded stuff because they're most likely counterfeits. So just buy like artsy things that you can find there, local clothing that you can buy there, summery type of things. Not like branded things because they're most likely not real. They'll be like random Ray-Ban stuff there, Nike. And you're just wondering like, this looks very dodgy. Yeah, it looks dodgy because it is dodgy. So don't buy that on the street. So that's one of the downsides. Be careful of Bali belly, please. When you get the food, street food, there's a warning about Bali belly. There's a reason for that. People eat street food and I guess they're exposed to things that they're not really used to and they get sick. So just be careful of that. But yeah, I think on the overall, the positives definitely outweigh the negative. And Indonesia, Bali is definitely worth the visit. It is worth the visit. It's a cheap holiday destination that is amazing culture, amazing nature, and amazing food. Amazing people as well. So I say definitely Bali is worth the visit. No matter how many people will say, oh, it's overdone. Yes, it's overdone if people have done it. But if you haven't done it, then you should do it. So give yourself, save yourself up some money. Bali trip is definitely a cheap destination. Start looking for those hotels, start looking for those flights and get to traveling. So thank you for joining Pretty on a Plane. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel so we can grow the family. And thank you for joining Pretty on a Plane. Till we talk again, love you.